My point to you is this. Why do you guys get to decide which ideas are okay for a school library?
And it says that Sabrina's vagina becomes moist and warm, and Marco's penis gets very stiff. Marco then pushes his penis into Sabrina's vagina, always in and out. That feels great for both of them. It tells you before this that they are unmarried and living together.
So this video came across my feed not too long ago, so I wanted to react to it because it's important that people are aware that it exists. And I think it catches a lot of people off guard, especially Chris Cuomo from CNN. Upon further inspection, too, I found that this book is actually available in 4 libraries near my home, and they are placed under the juvenile category, the juvenile nonfiction category. So it's important to remember that while you're watching this.
My point to you is this. Why do you guys get to decide which ideas are okay for a school library?
Well, first, I'd like to say that no one is looking to ban books.
No, but it is important that parents are involved in understanding what their kids are exposed to while they're at school. There's nothing wrong with that. It's really important that that's a part of the discussion. And when there is stuff that's found that probably is not important, parents should be allowed to voice that concern.
The Moms for Liberty certainly isn't. You should write the book, you should print the book, you should publish the book, you should sell the book should go into the public library in your community if taxpayers want to pay for it. And so we're not advocating for banning anything. What we're talking about is curating content in a library. You wouldn't have the same books
and more importantly, content in a children's library, in a very young children's library. You'll see in a moment what they're talking about.
In a medical college that you would in a seminary. And just because a book is printed doesn't mean that it belongs in a children's library.
Now, when you say children, what do you mean?
I mean public school children, K through 12. Children do not have unfettered access to the internet at school, or movies, or music.
Keep that in mind, K through 12. K through 12, and they don't have unfettered access to the internet, and they shouldn't, because A, we need to learn how to restrict access anyway. Kids don't always need to be plugged in online. There's one thing I've said continuously is that kids need to be able to approach things in a healthy manner. They need to be able to step away from certain things, and they also need to remember that it's not always time to be engaging in extracurricular activities. Sometimes we need to buckle down and work, and that's part of school.
But somehow these books with these horribly explicit graphic content are finding their way onto bookshelves in public schools all over America.
Let me ask you something. Tina, would the book bother you as much if it were a male and a female doing animations that...
This is an interesting gotcha moment that Chris tries to pull as if this were trying to be like some homophobic parents that don't like gays. And something that I've always said, and I will just say this as a disclaimer, is that I don't care if it was a homosexual relationship, straight relationship, trans relationship, whatever it is, that sort of thing needs to remain outside of school. It's not something that needs to be taught to children. Children just need to be taught to respect one another, to interact with each other in a respectful manner, and to be polite. The rest will come naturally. CNN at the moment is trying to find that one thread to tug on to disrupt their credibility.
That are instructional for kids to understand that type of sex relation?
So the problem with the books that our chapters across the country have concerns with, Chris, is that they are obscene. They are obscene and they are pornographic. This has nothing to do with if it's male and male, female and female, or male and female. They are obscene and they are pornographic. And genderqueer is just one of the many books. Here's My Body is Growing, a guide for children 4 to 8.
Here you're about to witness like the real issue. And as you can see from this book, it's presented as a children's book. And it says as much. There's nothing wrong with learning about these things in school. We had a very rudimentary sex education class in my high school, but I didn't engage in it till I was in 11th grade, 12th grade. I was a junior or senior in high school when this happened. And at that point, you're super curious. Things have already started happening in your life. Other kids are starting to experiment. So you need to know the consequences. But you'll see just here in a moment by what these ladies mean that this is obscene.
I could read to you out of this book. It is disgusting.
Please do.
It is with a man and a woman, 20 years old. It's not appropriate. This is for ages 4 to 8.
So again, keep in mind, this book has been geared and explicitly said by the author that it's for kindergarten to 3rd graders, 4 to 8 years old.
Sabrina's vagina becomes moist and warm, and Marco's penis gets very stiff. Marco then pushes his penis into Sabrina's vagina, always in and out.
Take a look at Chris's face here. He understands. He understands quite well.
Feels great for both of them. It tells you before this that they are unmarried and living together and 20 years old. This is appropriate for 4 to 8-year-olds. This is found in grade schools all across the country. So in your opening statement, Chris, you talked about
This is exactly what I mean about this sort of content. I'm not calling for the banning of books. I think libraries need to be curated better, and I think parents need to be involved with them. I think there should be some sort of system maybe set up where where parents can go on and see what's available at the library, just like at a public library. I can go in, I can look at their virtual card catalog and understand what it is that my kids can check out at any time, or even just browse. I don't want people to stop creating things. I think educating people on the consequences of being sexually liberated and doing whatever you want is a very important thing. But I think presenting this to children at such a young age is not good or appropriate. I think it messes with their development. I think they don't understand one bit of what's going on, and there's no need to. These are subject matters that need to be dealt with at the appropriate time by the parents in a safe environment. If you'd like, leave a comment below and let me know what you think about this particular book. Does it belong in schools? Should children, kindergarten, 3rd grade, be allowed to access books like this? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.